Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today I have a foundation review for you guys, and this is the makeup look that I got. Pretty happy with it. We're going to talk about the cushion foundation from Pony Effect. Ding! So this is their Glow Stay Cushion Foundation that has SPF 50 plus and PA 3+. Right, so this is how the foundation looks like. Very reflective, but the color is a very nice, beautiful baby lilac-y kind of pink color. I happen to really like it because pink is like my type of color, and I really like it. The only difference that you have is this sponge. Okay, regularly their sponge is full like navy blue, but this one is a beige. It felt pretty much the same, equally cushy, and it felt really nice on the skin. And actually this is the 4th time that I'm using this cushion, mainly because the previous few times that I used it I wasn't happy with the filming, with how it turned out, and then my skin got really bad, and I just don't feel like doing it. Like, even if I did the recording and everything, I'm just not happy with it. So even till now my skin is still kind of troubled. Okay, you guys will see in the next portion, but I feel like it's slightly better because there's no like bumps and whatnot. It's just more like scarring and whatsoever. So yeah, and the reason why I decided to quickly film this and upload this is because Shopee Singapore is having a sale on Pony Effect's products. It is their like Pony Effect SG, you know, like I think it's like the flagship store that's like representative of Singapore, of Pony Effect in Shopee. They are doing sale on certain products. Yeah, they have their powder lips, they also have this Pony Effect cushion, they also have the cover cushion EX, which is like a revamp of their like cover cushion, I think 2 or 3 years ago. So the one is in the gold packaging, and I decided to let you guys see how it wears, how did it perform, and just to let you guys know a couple of the things that you guys have to take note of if you guys decide to buy this cushion foundation. So now let's start with what kind of thoughts I have on this cushion foundation. So this one is because it is marketed as a glow foundation, right? You guys will see that it's matte because I did powder my face. The reason why I powder my face is because I have oily skin, and then in Singapore it's so hot and humid. You have to powder, if not it's just not going to last. Okay, but do take note that I do not put any primer underneath, so it's just the foundation and powder on top to see how it works. And the color that I'm using is number 3, vanilla, okay, which is the darkest shade out of the 3 that they have. So right now I think in the camera here is slightly like warmer than the face, but and a bit lighter, like the complexion. The cushion is a little bit lighter than my skin tone, but I feel like it's okay. I mean, if you guys are into the type where like you like a like 0.5 shade lighter than your skin tone, this one looks pretty okay, and it wouldn't be that much of a difference if you wear sleeved clothing, because unlike me, I'm wearing like a sleeveless. Anyway, so right, so this is a glowy foundation. The few times that I wore it, I felt like it did not perform as bad as the 3CE cushion foundations, which they got really like patchy. Like some places did separate at the end of the day. This did not happen, but it does catches onto places that you did not moisturize, I would say, or exfoliate properly. Like the place where I do get cakey a little bit right over here, it gets pretty cakey over at this 2 portion. And if you wore glasses, or if you wear glasses, then this one's definitely going to lift off. And then the next thing is you are unable to layer more than 2 layers onto troubled spots. I mean, the coverage itself is pretty good. It's like a medium to a medium full, but if you want to layer more than 2 layers on top of each other, to achieve the type of coverage that you want, like maybe 90-95%. This one is going to apply a bit cakey on it because I think too many layers on top, it just doesn't adhere to the skin very well, and after you powder it and after the day it kind of just slip and slide around and it doesn't look as good, and it kind of look a little bit like, you know, cakey and a bit wonky, I would have to say. So I recommend the best way to use it is maximum 2 layers, and that's it. So through the video you guys will see that I actually pack on 2 layers and I use a concealer brush to go in and conceal. It doesn't really work, and then I went in one last time with the puff to puff on places where I have a little bit more troubles, and then you guys will, I hope I'll be able to capture like how it kind of perform a little bit weird on the scar area, or like places where I need a little bit more coverage, so that you guys can see what will happen after you stack like 3 layers, or you layer 3 times on top of each other. Okay, so overall I feel like at the end of the day I do get pretty oily, oilier than I would have to say, because it's a glow cushion, right? It does get oily because it does not have any oil controlling properties. So if you guys have oily skin and you guys like this type of finish, or you just like the packaging I'm gonna try, you have to put a primer underneath, or an oil controlling primer underneath to control the oil, and then set it with a powder to kind of make sure that the cushion foundation wears throughout the whole day. Okay, so there is something to take note. The other thing to take note is that this is the darkest color out of the 3. So I am roughly usually about a 23 in Korean cushion, leaning 25 sometimes during the summer. So that's a gauge for you. And recently I have been really fairer than I am before this entire circuit breaker period starts and end. I'm definitely like lighter, way lighter than I was back then. So this is pretty much one of the lighter shade that I'm in. So if you guys are around that range, then you guys might have to take note, and then if you're any darker than this, then have to think before you purchase. And yeah, on Shopee they are retailing for 29 Singapore dollars. So yeah, I'm not sponsored, I'm also not you know, doing any advertisement or adverts for Shopee, but I just want to share with you guys, like if you guys are interested in getting the products like me. Okay, but I got it before this, so yeah. So anyway, the products that you get, I'm not sure if the ones that I didn't buy from their website, but what you're supposed to get is a box like this with the cushion inside it and an extra refill, so that you are getting like a cushion and a refill for that. So that's if you guys are wondering, which I think $29.90 or $95 for 2 cushions is actually pretty affordable. And this is the finished look. So if you guys are interested, then carry on watching. Right, zoom you guys in. So I've already prepped my face, okay, with sunblock and everything, just without primer. So this is how it looks like, scarring, acne and all those. So let's get started. So the color is a little bit light. That's something for you guys to take note. Welcome back to my channel. So right now it's 10:10. Let me close down, switch off my Nintendo Switch. Right, so okay, so right now it's 10:10. So it has been on my face for 6 hours and 10 minutes. So yeah, let's just you guys see how this thing perform. So it is very glowy, as the cushion suggests. It is like, it's really oily, I would have to say. but then whatever have to stay still remains. What I mean is that my blushes still remains intact. The coverage did not become lesser, okay, other than the fact that I'm oily. So that is really like, you know, the cover glow, so it really just stays there and then it's really glowy. Yeah, but there's one thing that you guys have to know. I'm not sure if you guys can see, but over here where I have like bigger pores, it is kind of settling into some of them, so it's creating little, like a little sesame seed situation over here. I'm not sure if you guys can see, but yeah. So but on other places where like this portion here where I also have like bigger like pore area, let me see, it's not settling in. So I got the feeling it's because I actually layered like the third layer on this portion where I have a lot of acne scarring, so it's creating that. So this cushion is best applied at the most or at the max 2 layers, okay, do not go beyond that. And the coverage is good, it stayed on pretty well, you know, 6 hours later it did not fade, and whatsoever my blush is still as intact. The only thing that it is really oily, like glowy, okay. So if you have oily skin like me, then you guys would probably need to blot throughout the day or prime your face before that, or bake. I didn't bake today, and I don't usually bake it unless I know that I want my makeup to last for the entire day. So yeah, there's a few things that you guys will need. So one last look at this is how the foundation look. I felt like throughout the day it kind of just matches my skin a little bit. I mean, here is still a little bit like olive. The thing I want to let you guys know is, other than the sesame seed that is kind of like piling here, right, where I have a bit more porous area, right, the place where I wore my spectacles, that entire two portion where my nose pad actually lays on top is completely lifted off. But one good thing about it is that under eyes, I feel like it's not super drying, because I did set it with powder, and usually that's the case. If that is the case, right, I will have like kind of like a little bit of a dry under eye, but overall here it looks pretty good, and the coverage still remains there, so you guys can see that it's pretty intact. I reckon that if you guys have normal skin or like a little bit on the slightly dry side, you guys would probably enjoy this cushion foundation. Okay, another thing is that over here, although it's really oily, this two portion here, like my jawline, okay, it didn't become cakey, it didn't separate, it's still like one full patch, very nicely adheres onto my skin. So overall, this cushion still fare better than the 3 Concept Eye one, because it didn't get really wonky over here. So by the meaning that they say glowy, it really give a lot of moisture. So this portion here where I'm normal, right, you just get a little bit of like a sheen, okay. So that's pretty good. Overall it did not perform weirdly on the skin, and it didn't kick up or whatsoever. Actually on this two area, right, where I thought it will do a lot of caking, this time around it didn't. So overall I felt like it isn't the type that will accentuate your flaws, other than the fact that if you layer more than 2 layers, that's one thing. Second thing is, if you have oily skin, then you will really look like a grease ball. But other than that, in terms of the coverage as of 2 layers, and then the way it performs on normal skin or like slightly dry skin, it looks pretty good. So yeah, this is the end of the wear test, and you guys can see how it look like this. So you guys can decide if you want to pick this up. So once again, this is on Shopee. It's retailing for $29.95 or $29.99, so around $30. So if you guys are interested, then you guys can pick this up. Overall, I felt like if you guys really want something that perform really well throughout the day, a good suggestion is, like from Korean brands of course, is the Roman cushion. Both the Roman Zero and the Roman Better Than Matte is good, unless you have severely like dry skin and you want something dewy, then this one is for you. Always keep in mind that you should only put 2 layers, because I do find a bit of settling. So I mean, you can try. Okay, anyway, I just want to let you guys know, I usually post every Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday, and then I'll drop in additional videos if I have, or anything like last minute. I will just try to drop it in, and if not, I will always try to post on Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.